Hey everyone, it's Sue here. Welcome to my channel. I am working in my large Dylusions journal with some Dylusions paint, and I just was missing doing a large mixed media page, and you all know that I just love pink. So I used my Dylusions paint to cover up the 2 pages. And I was just a happy camper doing this. This particular color pink is quite beautiful. Just like most of you, if not all of you, that have the pink Dylusions paint, it was very gloppy. But it works. And it was fine. It's just gloppy for whatever reason. And so I just finished up both of the pages and I gave it a nice dry with my heat tool. And at this point I'm feeling really good, just happy that I'm doing this and ready to get all of my different pieces together for my collaging. So I'm just going through some happy mail. That first bit of paper that I showed was actually something that my granddaughter did, and I tore it up. And then I like to get some text on there on almost every one of my mixed media pages. Maybe, not all, but I'd say a lot. I like I like to get black onto my pages, and because I think it's a great contrast for any color. And I also like that it gives a different visual look, right? So I have all this bright stuff going on, and it just helps to tone it down. And what else it does is when I tear a book page, I tend to tear it long and thin. And when I tear up other pages, I tend to tear them more in either a square or a rectangle shape. So even that way, it's just a great way to get something different on your page. So I'm using the Liquitex Matte Medium. And I'm liking this matte medium. I like a lot of different matte mediums. Right here, this is that girl with those wings. That's going to end up on the page, and I was just trying to see where I was going to put her, so I knew where to put all these pieces that I tore up. So matte medium. I love matte medium. I love Mod Podge. But I like this Liquitex matte medium because it comes, in a container, in a jar, that you can just squeeze it out as opposed to, dipping a brush into a jar. And not that it really matters. It's not a big deal. It's just a different way of using it. And I've been enjoying doing that. So I'm also putting some on the opposite page. And some of this stuff, like I said, I got in Happy Mail. And the Happy Mail would have been from Swaps from Crazy Island Family. And you can see right there, a little bit of pink is coming up. I'm not sure if it's pink from the paint on the page because I didn't get it dry enough, or am I picking paint up off of a piece of Happy Mail. But either way, it doesn't matter because you guys know me. I'm going to have layers and layers on here. So that was just fine. And anything pink is just fine by me. So I don't know about you guys, but today's the day before Thanksgiving, and I got out of work early. Did you guys? Oh my gosh. I got out at 3 o'clock, which is 2.5 hours earlier than I normally do. And it was great because I knew from before I left the house this morning that when I got home, what you're watching is exactly what I was going to do. So I was really looking forward to coming home in the daylight, because here in New Jersey, when I leave work at 5:30, it's already dark out at this time of the year. And so it was nice to come home in daylight. And And it was nice to be able to do this. I didn't finish it in the daylight, but I did start it in the daylight. So at this point, I wanted to get some paint onto the pages. So I just took some and used the paintbrush just to get some onto the page. And then I took my finger to smear it out a bit. And again, this is just like another way for me to add a layer. And what it does in my eyes, it's softening up some of the other edges, and it's like overlapping other pieces. And I like that look. I like it when it's, layers on top of one another, but not evenly. I like it to be uneven. So if something is straight up and down and there's something slanted above that, like I want to get the paint over it to, I can't explain it. I can't explain. It's hard for me to explain that. I would have to show you. But you'll see when I put that white paint on, it goes over multiple pieces to help unify it. So I hope that made some kind of sense. And then I put on these 3 circles, because that's another way to get, something different onto a page. And, keep in mind that in between all of these layers and all these steps, I do dry it. You just can't see it. I, edited. How do you say that? Edited it out. That just doesn't sound right to me. Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so unfortunately you couldn't see the whole process that I was doing right here, but I did edge it, and then I just went around the circles, and that's with the distress paint in the dauber. And again, I'm just layering here and there and making and the lines and everything and the colors. I just want unified a bit more. So hopefully to you, I mean, to me, it looks unified. To you, it might look like a mess. I don't know. But it's very pleasing to my eye because I see things layering upon other things, and I like that. So here I'm going to finally get these down, and I was just putting them, where I wanted them to go. And this was actually, these wings were totally different looking when I cut them out of the page. And then as I was doing it, I was like, no, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. And I kept cutting them down and cutting them down and cutting them down further and further. And this was what I ended up with. And I was absolutely fine. And I'm just trying to crease that one wing because it is going from one page onto the other. So I'm just going to get her down. And both of these were from a sale magazine. I don't recall exactly which. Oh, that's my bird, if you can hear him squeaking over here. But yeah, some magazine, and both the wings. And I want to say, is it Macy's? I don't really know. But anyway, so I hit that with the heat tool. And now I want to use a stencil, and I pulled out the black Dylusions paint and a makeup sponge. And this particular stencil, it's just a flower stencil. And I got it for 99 cents at Tuesday Morning. And I liked using the paint here because the stencil, you can see the lines, the stencil, the design itself is very thin. And so paint was good because I was able to really get it into the slots, into the design. So I did the one side, and then I'm like, oh, well, it's too empty on the other side. So I decided to do that side as well. And I don't normally clean my stencils, but in this case I did. I did go and clean this. And you can see it did not stencil evenly or perfectly, and I actually like that a lot. I like that it's not even. Now on the top of her head cuts off because because there was no, like, it was just the top of the page. I mean, I just, so I decided I want to put something there. So I just took a little flower and just kind of put it there, just so there was something there. And so I was liking it. It wasn't bad, but I did want to do a little bit more. So I pulled out this thin washi tape, and I just put that up there just to help define it a little bit more and make it look like there was something on the top of her head. And I put this thin washi around the page in a few places. And you'll see that, I put it in a whole different direction than anything else. Again, very different, right? So it just brings, to me, it just brings a lot of place to look on the page, right? There's a lot going on, and it brings my eye here and there and everywhere, and I like that. So that pink washi was a little thick, so I decided to tear it in half down the middle, and I placed it around. So this page, as you can see, is a lot of pink, a lot of black. There's a little bit of purple and stuff in here, but mainly pink and black. And I had a saying that I put up there, and it says, some cause happiness wherever they go, by Oscar Wilde. And you will see that closer up. You will. I'll hold it up in a little bit. And I'll actually move it because I'm going to do some shading around that. But I put so much of the matte medium up there. I took some with my fingers and just went around where the washi was so that I knew that the washi tape would stay put. And I took my black Posca paint pen and I'm shading around the words very messily, which I love. So that's done. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it. But now I decide that her dress is just too plain, right? So you guys know I'm not done yet because there's just not enough on here yet. So I decide her dress is too plain because there's a lot of busyness around it. And this was not my favorite, what I did here, but in the end, it worked out just fine. That particular stamp, it just was not the right choice. But anyways, like I say, it turns out fine. But I did want to fix it just a little bit, so I pulled out this Tim Holtz stamp with the butterflies. And I'm just going to try to make that more of an obvious stamp than it was. And I did stamp those butterflies around the page in different areas. So that was that. And then, ta-da, my splattering. So I took my white paint that I had left over from earlier, spreading it out around the page with my finger, and I added water to it, and I took my fan brush, and I put a ton of splatter on here, and I liked it. That was exactly, to me, what it needed. And I'm just lifting it up here so you can see all the stuff that's going on. And I'm just going to go ahead and take off the protective paper that I had on there. And when I did that, the white paint did drip just a little bit. I hit that with the heat tool, and I'm just showing you some pictures right here. So I hope that you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I hope that you all have a fabulous Thanksgiving for all of those in the U.S. And I do know that some people do celebrate it outside of the U.S. So everybody that is celebrating, I wish you the best, and I'll be back soon.